Your Shera.
Yeah. Oh, what's up, bro? What's up? Yeah.
All good.
Yeah.
So basically, we are having this conversation after a long time. As in, we both were speaking though, but yeah, from the last podcast which we had,
Yeah.
which was I distinctly remember second year of our college.
Yeah.
2 episodes, man.
Yeah.
Memorable.
Three,
I
three,
still
three
do.
episodes, by the way.
3 episodes.
Yeah.
One was long enough, right?
Yeah.
But cool, man. First of all, thanks for doing this. We
Arey,
formally go around that. So
anytime, bro. Anything and anytime for you. Yeah.
okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So like, I had few questions, bro.
Yeah.
Like putting it out to you. That's all.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So one thing is, I genuinely wanted to understand, as in, how do you become a good communicator? Because for me, right, I had to do the grunt work
Mhm.
so that I can be a better communicator.
Yeah.
But since childhood, I've been seeing you. It's like a snap for you when
Yeah.
it comes to communication. So, how did you become a good communicator in the first
Yeah.
place?
So basically, see, the thing is what that see, it's not rocket science. End of the day, So basically, see, I just want to tell that it might look like I'm a very naturally it is like I'm born with it, but the thing is that see, there was a point of time in my life where I couldn't look people in the eyes and talk to them. Okay, so basically, it is not something that I also had to do some grunt work. It came through life experiences. All the way till my 8th to 10th grade, it was very it was very difficult for me to communicate because I was I'm a fat person. Okay, so you know that how it is for fat people. So I was very shy, I was very underconfident, and a lot of things. But but the thing is that slowly after some life experiences, after I overcome this trauma, this bullying and all these things, right, when I started to get a better understanding at how life is and the experiences that I got, what I learned is that, see, first of all, you should you should have an open mind when talking to people. Okay, you should just have a free and open, because I've seen that a lot of people they think a lot. They think that कि भाई मैं इससे जाके बात कर लूंगा तो भाई ऐसा हो जाएगा वैसा हो जाएगा. They think that communicate, just go. My advice would be is that how I became so good is that after a point of time I just stopped thinking. I just started going to people. I stopped having that backstory in my head ki what will happen, rather than assuming. So rather than assuming, I just started going and talking to people.
If I have to like sum it up, right, just be detached from the outcome.
Yeah.
So that is something which I'm able to understand.
Yeah, that is very important, that you have to be detached from the outcome, because most of the times what happens is that we think so much, right? We think, we take life so bloody seriously. We are thinking so much, ki bhai, what would he think, what, if I go and talk to him, or if I, so firstly that, and secondly, I see ki my golden advice would be is that go to any person, प्यार से बात करो यार. किसी भी आदमी से अगर आप प्यार से बात करोगे ना, इफ यू टॉक टू हिम पोलाइटली, वो आपको कुछ ना कुछ दे के जाएगा ही, and that has happened so many times in my life. Like, for example, there was a time I was like, this is just an example. Okay, when I what happened, I'll just tell you a small story. I was traveling by train, and that time यार मैं जनरल के डिब्बे में था. Okay, I was in the general class, and bloody hell, it was filled up with people and it was stinking, and of course I didn't have a ticket. So what happened is that there was this guy who was sitting next to me, and I was very messed up, I was very tired, but he spoke to me, and we got into a conversation, and I told him that I'm going for some kind of a work, and it's very important, and I spoke to him very lovingly and very politely. You know what he told me? He told me that at 8 o'clock, when you reach this particular station, like in the second AC, the 7 number compartment, everybody everybody gets down. So he says from 7 o'clock in the night to 10 to 6 in the morning, that compartment is completely empty. And this and I was like, and he just told me ki, since you're going for some important work, you just go, you relax,
Mhm.
you sleep there. Even if the TC comes and he catches you, you just pay a, bribe him or just pay him a fine. Even if you pay a fine, it's like 200 $500, and
Mhm.
just go aram se, sleep well, and whatever work that you have, you do it in a, so if you just be polite, if you just be
Mhm.
kind, people will, always give you good things, so just be kind,
Got
just
it.
be polite, and just don't think too much, that's all
Mhm.
I would say.
Yeah.
It is more like with the concept of every action as an equal and
Opposite
Exactly,
reaction.
and detachment is key. Be detached,
Yeah.
and most important thing is, don't be so serious, man. Be completely, don't take life so seriously, and most importantly, don't take yourself seriously.
Mhm.
Macha, don't take yourself seriously. Yeah, so that's all I would say, yeah,
Got it.
yeah,
Got
yeah.
it.
so now here is another thing which I wanted to understand. Earlier in the conversation you did mention that bullying and all of that. Look, everyone in their life, maybe a lot of individuals, I would say, have one or many kind of insecurities in their life. So maybe like in your particular phase, right? How did you maybe detached that from your life and then moved ahead with the conversation? Because I did distinctly see you during our church days and all of that. So somebody used to call you like a fat guy, and you were like after 2 3 seconds you're like happy, you're smiling. Always kept it onto a side. So if somebody is in your shoes, maybe like let's say a young person of your version, so if they are in such a scenario, like how would you want them to take this approach, or how do you want them to approach the situation? So instead of that question, right, let me just phrase it in a better way.
Yeah.
So if you would have to advise yourself where you were going through bullying and all of that, let's say a similar kind of a person or a younger self of your version would be into like a victim of maybe bullying or victim of any particular thing where they are insecure about their body, the way they look, the way they speak. How would you advise your younger version to maybe tackle it, or maybe a younger individual who is facing the same similar situation?
Okay. So see, basically, what I would say, see, it does hurt. Let's be honest. I'm not man
Too
of
much.
steel or anything like that. It does hurt.
Mhm.
Absolutely. But the thing is, ki initially it will hurt. It will be painful. But I will tell you how I got out of it, because the thing is that, I've had crazy experiences. So all my advice to my younger self would be is that, get out into the world, way faster. Get out of your comfort zone. That is something that I would tell people, because I stepped out, like I have been doing a lot of things. I've been, breaking a lot of rules. I've been very rebellious. So, and it also has to play a very important part is, I had good people also in my life. It's not like I always had them, but slowly, when they came to me, I was open. I always kept myself open to all experiences. So my advice would be is that, get out into the world, kaam karo bhai, get into some kind of a work, build something, yeah, because I have been into, like, see, I've been working since first year of college, you know and I have worked with great people, and I've got great mentors, great gurus, and what happens is that, when you are with such people, you actually, just you're thinking, you elevate your thinking, you evolve as a person, and that automatically brings you out. Because because see, the thing is that, a lot of people can come and tell you, bhai, it's okay, that bro, it's okay, this happens, you will be okay. But come on, who are we bullshitting, you, if you, someone comes and tells you, you'll be like, bro, don't give me that shit. So basically, this is a kind of realization. Like, for example, to give you a very example, if I tell you that, एक बच्चे को अगर बोलेंगे कि, if you touch fire, it will burn you, unless he has not, उसने अपना हाथ नहीं जलाया, yeah, unless you don't go and touch that fire, you will never get that realization. So there is one thing,
100%.
एक होता है understanding it, and one is realization. Understanding is this, that, कि love is painful, But realization is, when that actually happens, when you get your
True.
heart broken, and when you get your heart broken, there are going, you're going to be like, oh, the world is ending, so many things are happening. That is understanding, but and people try to understand you, ki, bro, it's going to be okay. Everything is going to be fine. But the thing is that ki you will realize it yourself, dheere dheere karke, and one day you just wake up and you're like, oh, it doesn't hurt me anymore. So that is the kind of realization that, it comes, and this comes only when you're doing something in life. Bro, you have to do something in life. You can't be just lying on your couch scrolling reels and just, always escaping things. No, you have to get up off your couch. You have to, do something crazy. It doesn't have to, do a lot of things. Have a well balanced life. What kind of crazy stuff I have done. So
True.
I was always out there, bro, and that is how it has evolved. That delta was massive. So I would just say that just get out in the world, do something. That's all I would say. Yeah.
True, true. If I have to like sum it up again, a lot of experimentation. Primarily, you get to learn like what is right for you, wrong for you, and just do something.
Yeah, just
So,
do something. Yeah, because
simple as that.
खाली बैठ के कुछ नहीं होने वाला भाई. You can't just be, doing nothing. नहीं, you have to do something about it. It's nothing is going to happen automatically. You have to be doing something, and you have to be, and see, the main thing I would say is keep your sangati good. you know you are you are what the other five people in your life are. And I had good people, thankfully. I had, friends like you, and all my friends that I would say, people are not just talking about girls, drugs, sex, or things like that. We talk about money, we talk about finance, we talk about entrepreneurship, we talk about, corporates, we talk about, we don't talk about people, we talk about ideas. We talk about a lot of different things. We are always working. So you have to be out there with the right people also.
Got it, got it. And it's just a final question. Now, let's say if somebody is maybe at 0 or like 1 phase in terms of their communication, so how would you advise, or what do you think you would do 1 or 2 or 3 things for the person to improve? Let's say they are like at a nil or like at a one particular phase. That's all.
Okay, so see,
Mhm.
I'll tell you how I started it off with. Okay, the best way to learn something is to completely immerse yourself into it. Okay,
Mhm.
watch English movies, listen to English songs, read English, walk English, talk English, dance English, do everything in English.
Mhm.
Ask to be a better communicator.
Better come, like, see, I'll tell you one thing, that first of all, to speak, you need to have a good vocabulary. You should, and see, there's the first part. First is
Mhm.
language. You should know, you should have a weapon, and weapon is English or Hindi or whatever it is. You should have a weapon. Then only then the second stage is how you fire it. What are you going to fire if you don't have a weapon? Now right now, if I'm talking in, I talked in broken English, and if I am talking to you in that way, nobody's going to take me seriously, and they're going to be like, what the fuck, bro, tu kya gyan pel raha hai? That's what. So first you get your vocabulary right, you get your English right. For that you need, I would just, if I have to tell someone is, and it's basic, yeah, like read English, watch English, listen to English. So the more, see, you are what you eat, you are what you watch. So the more you are into English or Hindi or whatever, you get that dialect.
Got it.
Exactly.
Got it.
So now,
It is like 4 different things: speak, read, think.
all your senses, you have to stimulate all your senses. Now, second thing. Now, see, if I tell, see, you will learn swimming only by doing swimming. Okay. No matter, you watch thousands of videos on swimming, you have thousands of discussions on swimming, you're not going to learn swimming unless you start swimming.
Mhm.
So you have to talk. You have to begin somewhere. कि बात करो भाई. अपने दोस्तों से बात करो. See, it's not just, see, first is the weapon. Now talk in any language, you know. First you have to master communication. If you can master communication, let's say in Kannada, you know, or maybe any language, maybe be it your mother tongue, you know, then you can master it in any other language, you know. It's just a matter of time. But for you, if you want to, you know, it's by experience. See, reading, writing is the power of the brain, okay? Any Tom, Dick and Harry can do that. But speaking is experiential. The more you speak, the more you are into it, the more you practice it, you know, that's how you know, improve it. So my advice would be is that, you know, and I'm not telling you talk to your friends or your family. Bhai sahab, start talking to strangers, yeah. You know, the art of small talk. You go out there, you see you're sitting in the bus stand, go and speak to them. You meet someone and they are, you know, having a conversation with you. You don't be there like, okay, theek hai, acha bhai. Talk to them, understand their story, because कोई भी आपको कुछ भी सिखा सकता है, you know. You never know, tomorrow one guy just passing on the road, he can give you some kind of a knowledge, you know, some kind of a something he can give you that will, you know, it will, like, you know, click, you know, it will flip a switch, you know. So just talk to people, you know. You remember I gave you that advice also very long back, you know, when you had asked me कि भाई जाके बात करो.
I did insane amount of repetition.
Exactly. And see, I'll tell you what happens is that, see, we all have a shell. Okay. We all have a shell. You also had a shell. You know, now you see you do great content, you're doing a lot of great stuff, you know. So we all have this shell. First, you have to work on breaking that shell. You know, and this is not just in terms of communication, but it is, see, basically, you know, this is a very big part of your personality. You know, aapka, your communication is a part of your personality, is your part of your charm, you know, is the part of your character, you know. So, you know, so you have to break a shell for that, you know. You have to be lively, you know. You have to, you know, you should know how to talk to people, you know. Like, for example, put me with anyone. Put me with a 90-year-old guy, put me with a 5-year-old kid, or put me with anyone in the middle, you know. And even you have seen me talking to people when we don't understand each other's languages, you know. So
You would be goddamn so good in terms of
yeah. So, like, okay, now I'll give you a very good I'll tell you how good am I. So guys, I'm right now in Meerut. I'm in Uttar Pradesh, you know, the land of gangsters, you know. The UP is not for beginner guys. So, so 2 weeks down in Meerut, what happens is that I'll not get very deep into the story, but there was a misunderstanding, and because of some guy, I got slapped. Okay, you know, and this was in the evening around 9ish, 10ish, okay, and I got slapped, okay, whacked on the face, you know. And what happened was at that time I was shocked. Ki the last time someone slapped me or, you know, touched me was my dad, and that was way back. And I was in a shock, you know. I was shocked for like bloody, you know, 5-10 minutes. Ki bhai, mere ko thappad maar ke gaya, you know. I was like, fuck, what the hell happened, you know. And then what happened is that I didn't react. I didn't react in a negative way, you know. I didn't go full haywire on them. Ki how the fuck did you touch me, or, you know. I just, you know, spoke to him in a very decent way. Ki man, you can't touch me like that. How did you do it, you know? You know. And then what happened is that I didn't create much of a scene. The guy who slapped me, his father told me, "Beta, you just go," and I just went. Now, over a period of time, what happened is that, so see, it's something that's near my academy and where I stay. Over the period of time, that guy used to see me every day. He used to see how I talk to people. He used to see how I used to go, and then some people told him also that about me. You know, what happened is that over a period of time, one day I met him. You know, one day I met him walking his dog, and, you know, he just comes in front of me and he's telling me, "Bhaiya, I'm very sorry. You know, galti ho gayi bhaiya mujhse." You know, and he's a educated guy. He used to work in a corporate in Gurgaon, and then he was, you know, he's currently running his family business right now. He comes down to me and he's like, "Bhaiya, I'm very sorry. I apologize." You know, and we got into a conversation about, you know, families and what you're doing and things like that. And today he's like कि भैया घर आ जाओ खाने के लिए, you know, come down, you know, for Diwali and all. I was invited and things like that. So that's the, you know, I might, you know, have a photo also, you know. Yeah, fast forward this. Yeah, but I'll show you. I took a cell. Can you believe? Can you tell me, Thomas, that if someone slaps you or something like that, can
Yeah.
you can you reach this level of what do you say? Can you reach this level of friendship with that guy?
Yeah, I would have slapped him back.
Yeah,
Over there.
exactly,
That
exactly.
that would have been like a normal fight or flight kind of a
Exactly,
reaction.
exactly. So let me, show you, So this is the guy. His name is Manav Bhaiya. We were at the
Ah,
same salon, So let me just put it on camera also.
okay.
So I have this photo, we are just see, as you can see, we are like so damn happy, and that's all. So
Ah,
yeah, so the thing is ki don't take yourself so seriously, man. It's my advice
but
to
coming back to the first
yeah,
thing which you did mention,
yeah.
प्यार से बात करो bro. That's
प्यार
it.
से बात करो यार. Now and see the shocking part is what that there are students here who have been here from the past 8 months, 1 year, and
Mhm.
but I am the guy who literally knows everyone. I sit. So this is a cantonment area. So I am sitting with the ex inspector, and I'm sitting with some people from the Jat regiment. And अपन लोग
Mhm.
देसी हुक्का फूक रहे हैं भाई. And we are talking
Uh-huh.
in Haryanvi, we are not talking something bullshit. We are talking about agriculture, we are talking about life, we are talking about philosophies, we are talking about stories, So
Mhm.
people know me the whole damn road, यहाँ पे किसी को उधार नहीं मिलता भाई. I am the only guy who has, there is a, I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. There is a, see, this is the place of Jai Shri Ram, right?
Mhm.
Let me show you. This is Rakesh Bhai from he's a Meerut guy.
Okay.
He sends me hallelujah. I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. We see we talk. So I ended up where people say Jai Shri Ram. I have a guy who's telling me hallelujah. So
That's nice.
treat people with love. Yeah, like see, for example, people look down upon people a lot. Ki just because he's a see, my advice would be one more. A golden advice would be is that the definition of a man is not how he treats the strongest person in the room. That doesn't define you. It is about how you treat the most weakest person in the room. जो आपके लिए कुछ भी नहीं कर सकता. A person who cannot do anything for you. That matters how you treat that guy. The guy who's the strongest in the room, everyone is scared of him, everyone respects him, that. But what about the guy who's the weakest in the room? Maybe the
Nobody gives a
waiter.
shit about him.
Yeah, maybe the waiter, maybe the watchman or something like that. People today, when they go to, let's say, here, there's a lot of casteism, there's a lot of racism, there's a lot of jat paat, ye wo, religion, and all these things.
Mhm.
I'm friends with Muslims, I'm friends with Hindus, I'm friends with Jains, I'm friends with everyone. I go to, have biryani on Eid, I go to eat, sweets on Diwali. So, so that's the thing, it's not just see, it's not just about communication, bro. You're getting it a little wrong. It's about the person that you are, bro. It's all about the person that you are. Like this is me. This is how I've built myself up. So people are very, see, you have to be open. I'm so approachable that when I'm sitting somewhere where a kid comes and asks me something, ki bhaiya chips de do, yeah,
Yeah.
or some guy is coming and asking me, aap kahan se ho, and and so you have to be approachable. When I walk, when I talk, there is that demeanor kind of a thing, that ye banda chill hai bhai, इससे मैं बात कर सकता हूँ. I'm always having a smiling face and I'm always chill. I'm drinking tea, smoking a cigarette. I'm very chill. So that is very important. Communication to bhai, you can be fucking Shakespeare, but it won't matter if can't treat people well. You can't be that kind of a guy.
Two distinct things. One is communication, and the second part, as you did mention, again, coming back to the first point, be a good human being, talk with love. I mean, don't overcomplicate life.
Chill
Exactly,
advice.
exactly. See, life is simple, we complicate it. Yeah, and that is one thing that I would say, it doesn't, and like, see, and one more thing I want to tell you is, Thomas, that if it's a watchman or if it's a barber, often at times what people have a mentality is that this guy is smaller than me. This guy is just a watchman, and if he comes and talk to you, ha, bhai, you don't even have, people don't even have that fucking tone to talk to him with respect, like how we talk. This is happens everywhere, people don't have that basic decency and courtesy to, talk to people respectfully who are below them, I am great friends with barbers, drivers, anything. And see, what I'll tell you, one thing what happened is, one time when I was walking down the road, I fell down. Okay, I twisted my ankle badly and I fell down. I remember there's this auto wale bhaiya over here, that e-rickshaw guy, tuk-tuk guy. We always meet and greet, and that guy saw. And at that same time, he saw me. And this is a place where nobody fucking helps you, and they bloody mock you and things like that. But this guy saw and he's like, "Ki bhaiya bhaiya aap theek ho, sab theek hai," and I couldn't walk and all. He carried me, bro. Means he helped me. He put me in his auto.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
and he pushed me. He made me sit. He calmed me down. बाद में सुट्टा भी पिलाया, बाद में चाय भी पिलाया, थोड़ा समोसे, हींग वाले समोसे भी खिलाए. And then आराम से after 15-20 minutes, we left from that place and he dropped me somewhere, and he made sure that so that's what I'm saying, yeah. Like, there's a lot. Communication is just the tip of the iceberg, I would say. There are a lot more levels that you have to go. Just because you're a great communicator, it doesn't mean कि भाई आपने चांद पे चढ़ गए हो.
Yeah.
So
being a good human,
yeah, exactly,
is distinctly different from being a good communicator.
Exactly. And just because you're a good communicator, and see, if you're a good communicator, if you have that, see, being a good communicator is not just speaking English or doing public speaking. Okay, it's about empathy. How empathetic you are. It's about how you treat people, how you make people, how you make people feel. So, brother, that is very important. Because genius without empathy is of no use. It's waste. So even if you can speak well, but you're not a great guy, you're not, you're लंड नहीं हो भाई तुम, बढ़िया communicator. I मेरी नजरों में तो नहीं हो यार. You might be a Shakespeare also, but if you can't treat people well, and you can't, भाई, if you are not able to befriend a stranger within, let's say, 20 minutes of that time, लंड नहीं हो भाई तुम. You're bloody, you're fuck all, bro. You're not a great communicator, I would say. So that's my few takes on